The film / crew review, Bad Times at the El Royale. Giddy up, cowboys. Ding, 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 ding. Hey team, Angus Draken here. Welcome to the Film / Podcast. I'm here, as always, with my co-host, Kane Diggly Wiggly Kane Dogs.
Hi.
And Bro Diddly Doo Broadman Richards.
Hi.
What is up, gentlemen?
Also Angus. Angus. Wangus.
That's this guy.
So, I'm feeling real good and healthy. All my airways are completely clear. I can breathe out my nose. How are you guys?
The complete opposite of that.
Yep. Yeah.
I'm fine.
I am the only healthy person in the room. Oh no. I'm going to be so sick after this.
Angus and I are quite sick. Apologies.
This week we are reviewing Bad Times at the El Royale.
Yes, we are.
Kane Dogs, you want to hit us up with that IMDb summary?
Absolutely I can, Angus. 7 strangers! Each with a secret to bury meet at Lake Tahoe's El Royale.
Lake Tahoe's.
Tahoe.
Lake Tahoe's.
Okay.
7 strangers!
Why are you sounding again?
With a secret to bury, meet at Lake Tahoe's El Royale, a rundown hotel with a dark past. Over the course of one fateful night, everyone will have at least one shot at redemption before everything goes to hell.
When did you see the movie, and what did you think?
What did you think?
When did you see the movie? What did you think? Do you like the movie? No, the shit.
I saw the movie last night. I actually went to the drive-ins to see it.
This would be an interesting film to see at the drive-ins.
Yeah, it was...
Yeah, it's a long one.
It was alright. I don't think the movie's quite for me. I kind of see where it was coming from. It was very Tarantino-esque,
yes,
which we can kind of see from the trailer. It's pretty much that again, but not so much like the funny, gory side. More just the dramatic,
I wouldn't say it was
over-dramatized.
I wouldn't say it was gory at all. Not really. I wouldn't.
No, like they were. Yeah, they were
Tarantino minus the humor and the gore.
Yeah, that's what I would say.
Okay.
Also, a little fun fact that I found out from listening to, I'm pretty sure someone else's podcast. So thank you to them, whoever they were.
Good on them. That's a shout out for them as well.
Tarantino now has his own word in the Oxford Dictionary.
Really?
Yeah, Tarantino-esque.
Tarantino-esque.
I thought it was just going to be correctamundo. Go on.
Okay,
Pulp Fiction!
I went down to bloody Woolworld on Friday night, and I gotta say, I enjoyed it, and I deliberately put a question mark at the end of that sentence, because I'm still a little bit unsure. But it was good, I think.
I also put a question mark at the end of that sentence, because I'm not sure.
Yeah, I think I enjoyed it. I don't think I'll ever watch it again, except for a specific part in the film that I'm definitely going to watch again, which we'll talk about in the body spoilers.
In the bloody
A
spoilers.
little bit of a tease for that.
Yeah.
But yeah, overall it was good. It was slow and it was long, and
Yeah, there were definitely like some bits in this movie that like breathed, I think, well.
Yeah.
But it is a bit of a slow burn.
Beautiful
Yeah.
looking
And
film.
I think it's definitely like an auteurist's movie, or like someone that appreciates good cinema.
Yeah.
Yeah. K-Dogs, when did you see the movie, what did you think?
I saw it yesterday at lunchtime-ish. Loved it. I thought it was great. I had a great time with this film. It didn't feel long to me at all. Everything was very intense for me. Every like little sort of, because this is a very quiet movie. There's not really there's not a backing track that runs through the film. So whenever there is like a noise that hits, it really hit me hard. I thought it was fantastic. The GF, however, thought it was the worst, most boring, longest film
I was about to say,
I've ever made her sit through.
I bet she would.
So, but no, to me, this is one of the best films I've reviewed or at least seen this year.
Yeah, right.
Good
really,
style.
Really high up there on the list.
The
for
style
me.
of this film's really nice.
Yeah.
I thought
What do you think of all the nibbits, children?
The nibbits?
Yeah.
Brody, I love all nibbits on anybody.
Jordan just smashes through packets of nibbits
I like
a day.
playing with nibbits,
Pack a day.
twisting nibbits.
Jordan Kane.
Jordan's a pack a day
2018
nibbit guy.
pack a day.
I'm a nibbit lover.
Jordan,
Yes.
Nibbit fiend.
that being said,
Yes, Brody.
Angus, did we get any bloody comments from our bloody...
Oh, I've got the trailer of what we were watching.
Hey.
I'll put it up now.
That's a great segue. You forgot to put it up on
Put
Facebook.
it up. I put up a review of something else the other day. Everybody head over to the Film Size Podcast on Facebook and look at the thing that I did do. That wasn't this.
Lads, you know, and I know, Brody, you know, because of that sweet segue that you just gave me, that I put up on Instagram and Twitter what movie we're reviewing. And we ask our slicey slices out there, our beautiful listeners, whether they've seen the movie and what they thought of it. So we can chuck it in the
presumably
podcast.
beautiful, Angus. Don't put unrealistic standards on them.
And you guys normally guess how many comments we got. We know there's none on Facebook. Because Jordan hasn't put it up yet.
Correction. Jordan is putting it up now.
Okay, on Instagram we have one comment.
Ooh.
This is from the IOHO podcast.
Oh.
Those boys over there in our Honest Opinion podcast. They say, "Oh boys, what can I say? I'm posting my review for this tonight. So much talent, such a letdown of a story." There you go.
Yeah, fair enough.
That's fair.
IOHO.
Definitely head over
I
and
think it's unfair.
go over and wait, what? What's unfair?
I think that it's a letdown is unfair. I didn't think it was a letdown at all.
Ah, well, there you go. So definitely go over and suss out the IOHO podcast. Let them know if we're any good. And
Two O's,
over,
one I, one H.
and over on Twitter, we've actually got someone who replied to our comment with a link to their with their review of it.
Oh, good on them.
Their review
Wait,
says...
so wait, hold on. So
Yeah.
you put up, hey, did you see it? What did you think? So we can record it on our podcast. And they instead put a link to their podcast.
their tweet.
Oh, okay. All right.
Their tweet on their
Okay,
tweet,
good.
which was a review.
Okay. Well, that's okay then.
So this is from...
I'll allow
Are you
it.
saying, Angus, that we got 2 replies this week?
Yeah,
Oh.
I guess I am.
Bloody got it.
This is from Hal Pumpkin Halloween Face Newen Lee Film.
Catchy name.
Bitch. At NLE318 is his handle. Says,
now 318, 318. That's...
said- yeah.
What?
he said, "Scene. Unevenness plague bad times at the El Royale. Superbly acted, especially the Cynthia Erivo, Jeff Bridges, Lewis Pullman trio. Music and designs at core of frayed, improperly paced plot." Say that 10 times fast.
Improperly priced...
He had such confidence going into it.
I had quite a significant amount of confidence in it. Improperly... No, that's a difficult one.
A true writer's...
Paced plot.
Improperly placed...
It's not
plot.
placed plot, it's paced plot.
Oh, yeah, it is.
Improperly paced plot. I did it.
Say it again.
Improperly paced plot.
Okay.
You say
The first time
improbably.
ever, Jordan is the one who can say it
I don't know,
correctly.
because I think he said improbably.
What is it?
Improperly.
Improperly placed pot.
He goes on to say, a true writer's movie where only he has fun. I'll smile for him. Hashtag Fantastic Fest. Now, guys, if you want to make sure you're staying up to date with all the movies that we're watching and want to be a part of the Film Slice crew, make sure you follow us on Instagram at Film Slice Pod. You can follow us on Twitter at Film_Slice_Pod and on Facebook. Let's get this Slicey Slicer
YouTube.
community happening. Awesome. All right, let's move on to our next little hoo-ha.
Would you guys recommend this film? And to whom?
Cane Dogs.
Yes.
You wanna hit us up first. Would you recommend it? Who would you recommend it to?
Look, I would recommend it, but I think it's become apparent to me that it's not an everybody's film. I think it's a somebody's film. I think, yeah, if you appreciate sort of... How do I talk about this? If you're a common cinema goer and you just want a fun time, or like, you know, just...
This isn't an action-packed romp.
No, it's also, even for a thriller, it's also quite slow. But if
I don't know if I'd even call it a thriller.
I don't think it's a thriller, no.
I'd say it's a thriller.
Okay.
Anyway, I would recommend this film to anyone who appreciates some good writing and some interesting framed shots and some good acting and some sort of interesting little things done with the music and the track. I had a really good time with this film. I also had a lot of fun sort of finding out all the little secrets and mysteries that each character sort of had. So I'd recommend it to anyone that thinks that sounds like a fun time.
I would recommend it to anyone who is willing to put the effort into watching this movie, because you have to keep up with this movie.
Yeah, fair enough.
Even though it is like a slow-paced film, you have to pay attention to it. The plot is not linear, which means that there's a lot of jumping around, and it's more like just kind of throwing information at you
in a lot
random
like
bits.
Pulp Fiction.
Yeah, it is very similar.
Where you have various different characters that you follow and you find... I'd also say this is actually a bit like Memento.
I would recommend this to anyone who's interested in more of a slower paced film, someone who's not only interested in the action-packed kind of blockbusters.
Yeah,
if you've got a bit of time, I think this is like a 2.5 hour film. If you've got a bit of time and kind of want something with a bit more of a stylistic choice rather than just like explosive fight scenes and that sort of thing, then I think a fun time at the El Royale is to be had.
A fun time at the bad time
during your viewing of this film.
Yep, totally agree. All right, anything else to add, boys, before we head on into spoilers? I think we're good.
Yeah, I think we're
it's
good.
It's a very beautiful looking film.
It is.
This film won me over.
I wish all films looked like anywhere close to this film.
This film won me over within the first scene, just in the way it was framed and set up. Yep.
It's good. It's good. All right, head on into spoilers.
What a cool sound effect, Angus.
Welcome to the spoiler section. We're in the spoiler section where we dissect and divulge everything about the film, starting off with Cinema Dicks. Anyone got Cinema Dicks?
I've got one.
You got a Cinema Dicks? Birdman.
I was the Cinema Dick. This for the first time this year, as I was very sick, so I was making a variety of horrible sounds,
coughs,
and
splutters,
and liquids
sneezes
through the entire viewing of
Sniffles.
the film. Yes, all of the above, all horrifically come at me.
Wow. Yep. If you were in my cinema, I'd probably have a rant about how if you're that sick and you can't afford to watch a film in silence, you probably shouldn't go to the film. But I guess if you're reviewing it, you have no choice.
This is true.
Yep.
So we grant Brody a Cinema Dick pardon. Your dick has been pardoned.
Okay.
Dick's been pardoned.
Anyone else have a Cinema Dick?
I do have a Cinema Dick.
Yeah.
Take it away, I guess.
As I said at the start of this podcast, I saw this film in the drive-ins. In the drive-ins? Do you see it in the drive-ins?
The drive.
Or at the drive-ins? I guess you see it at the drive-ins.
No, plural. I think you just see it at the drive-in.
At the drive-in?
Yeah.
Oh, there you go.
I think it's a drive-in theatre and you go...
Yeah, so anyway, I saw it at the drive-in and we're all set up. Obviously it's night because it needs to be dark before you project onto something.
Now, what kind of drive-in is the one where you have to tune your radio to the...
Yeah, so radio, so sound quality wasn't the best, but
in your
I
car?
can't blame the movie for that, yeah.
In your car?
My girlfriend's car.
Is her car a lot nicer than your car?
No. Oh, well, I've got better speakers.
Okay.
Which is a real shame because I think one of the biggest sort of things in this movie that stood out to me is the way they used sound in the film.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, so anyway, got there a little bit early, trailers were playing, everything was all good, cars were still parking, that was fine. Finally, all the cars settle, and, off goes the movie. And then as soon as the movie starts, there's that one, like the one long shot kind of scene, which is...
fantastic, incredible.
Yeah, which looked like it was fantastic. However, I couldn't see much of it because someone rocked up late and left their lights onto the screen.
Really?
So, yeah, I didn't see much of that scene, which was very unfortunate.
Did they turn it off later, or were the lights on the scene for the whole time?
No, like Yeah, they were on for a stupidly long time, and someone had to get out of their car who was in front of them, knock on their window and say, turn your lights off. Which, yeah. So, like,
That's horrible.
One whole side of the cinema screen was blown out because someone's lights
Why
were
didn't
on.
that guy notice? As if you wouldn't have your lights like, oh, I can't see half the screen.
Yeah. Anyway, that was my cinema dick. All right, let's head into the movie.
Favorite parts.
Yeah.
I can start this one up.
Yeah,
Favorite part.
hit us up.
My favorite part of this film is probably no surprise that opening scene.
Okay.
It is one of the best openings to a film I think I've ever seen, and it kind of inspires so many questions, and it's such a great starting to a story and to a number of characters. And I loved it. It's shot perfectly.
So for people that haven't seen it, can
Yes,
you...
describe.
It's basically it's a shot from the inside of a hotel room looking at the entrance to it, and it's basically someone. You hear them walk up to the door, open the door, and enter. They kind of like put their stuff down, and then over the course of it's kind of like an unknown amount of time, they move all the furniture in the room. Pull up the carpet.
And they look very disheveled and stressed out and anxious and sweaty.
They pace around the room, pour themselves a drink and all that sort of stuff. They pull up the carpet, pull up floorboards in the hotel room, and they hide a bag under the floorboards, put the floorboards back down, nail them down, put the carpet back down, and put all the furniture back into place. So they're just sitting in a room with something they've hidden underneath it in a hotel room. Nice. And then they open the door, and very big spoiler, are you still listening? You're still listening. Okay, and they open the door, they greet someone who they obviously know, and then when they turn around to enter back into the room, they get shot in the back.
Blame. By the guy.
Yeah, by the guy who kind of showed up late.
It does feel like such a Tarantino scene.
It's shot perfectly. It's from an actor that I really, really like, Nick Offerman. Really, really funny, actor. He's in Parks and Rec as Ron Swanson. Very, very funny guy. And
I bloody knew I recognised him.
Yeah, right? And it was just, one of the best openings to a film I've ever seen, and I loved it.
Yeah, fantastic.
And it was just so well done. It was so pretty. It was just perfect.
Yeah. Sweet. Cane Dogs, your most positive thing about the film?
Look, that's actually really difficult for me because there isn't a lot that I disliked. What I want to say is...
we're talking about the positives.
What I want to say is, and I mentioned it a few times, the use of sound in this film. A lot of films tend to become white noise with certain moments because there's a backing track that maybe you do or you don't pay attention to. There's usually some sort of music that plays in the back of every scene, no matter what scene it is. Even if you pick a movie where you like the soundtrack, in between the songs that you enjoy with the moments that you enjoy, where there are sort of lower scenes, there is still some sort of music usually playing or a noise or something. And this film is dead silent until someone turns on a radio or there's actually movement that creates noise.
They also do an interesting
singing.
thing where it's not perfect silence.
Yeah.
They add in a sound
Like a
to
drone or
inspire
something?
silence.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is actually really, really smart
And
decision.
as a result of that, every time there was something that happened that was impactful, it really hits home. Like there's a scene I want to talk about where the priest is pouring the woman a drink, and there's sort of some music playing in the background, but it's quiet music, and it's only playing. She put a jukebox on, and because you're not used to there being a lot of noise, when there's one song playing, you're really paying attention to it, and you don't really expect there to be another layer of noise over the top of that because they haven't done that for the film leading up to it. And she's out of the shot because it's mainly focused on him. And then he turns around and he gets a bottle to the head from her. And that made me physically jump, like physically jolt in my seat, because I was listening to the music, wondering if maybe the song that they'd picked had any sort of hidden resemblance to the scene or foreshadowing or anything like that. There's a lot of songs in here that had foreshadowing if you go back and listen to them.
That scene got me too as well, because when Jeff Bridges is like doing the drinks and everything, you're like, oh, what's he up to? And then he pulls out like the vial from his pocket, and like your heart just drops, and you're like, oh no, like
because
he's got to drug this poor girl, and like he kind of, well. Yeah, like he won you over, and then you like your mind goes on like, oh well, what's gonna happen now? Like he's gonna drug this girl, and then she's gonna find herself somewhere, and last time you bang, like just clips him over the head with a bottle. Yeah, you're like, oh dang! Like that wasn't the story at all. It was good. It had like a lot of twists and turns. So early on in the film,
I'm gonna say that scene, and the other scene I really liked is the first time some of the main characters meet inside the Royale, and it was just a really good introduction to bloody John Hamm's character, and how he sort of held himself, portrayed himself, knowing going into the film that everyone sort of has a dark secret. It was really interesting seeing all the characters sort of put on what you sort of guess is a facade. Was just great. That whole scene held such tension for me.
It sets you up for the rest of the movie.
It really, but it does so well.
Yeah, in that sense, the movie was definitely like a good ensemble film.
Angus, what was your favourite thing?
I think my favourite thing was just the actors. I think they were phenomenal all around.
Good collection.
Jeff Bridges probably stole the show for me, just because like
the guy that looks like Tom Holland. You know, the guy working at the hotel.
He really did look like Tom Holland.
Yeah.
That is true. That is probably his stunt.
He was awesome as well. Loved his character.
Yeah, I didn't mind him. And like even Chris Hemsworth.
Yeah.
Chris Hemsworth.
Yeah.
Yeah, like he did such a fantastic job of being a douchebag, and like it takes a good actor to make you hate them, especially if they're so likable in real life.
My only problem with his character, I think he's a good actor. I think that
you've heard of it first. Brody thinks Chris Hemsworth is a good actor.
Yeah,
certified.
I think he was. There was a few scenes where he was meant to be a bit more intimidating than he was. I don't think he was very intimidating.
I found him intimidating. He reminded me, like, I think they're playing off the whole Charles Manson type character, which is someone that basically sort of he preyed on a lot of weak-minded people and pretended to be like a god-esque type character by telling everybody to ignore.
But there's just a few scenes kind of later in the film where he's like holding the gun, kind of like offing people, and it was like he's doing these like really horrific things, but he wasn't really supporting them with his like any sort of kind of craziness or anything like that.
I actually really like the fact that he wasn't like overly like menacing, because
I like that too.
when the singer calls him out on it, he kind of gets taken a bit aback, and like that kind of adds to maybe his like he's got insecurities and stuff like that. And like again, I think this film is about like in the end we are all kind of human kind of thing.
We all have secrets. I think
that kind of stuff. And like so I definitely see where you're coming from, but I enjoyed the fact that you could kind of see
through the facade that he puts on.
Yeah. Birdman, you want to start us off with some of your negatives?
Yeah, sure thing. So negatives for this film. I think that when you watch this film and you watch a film from Tarantino, it's so obvious that this film is inspired by his work. I can when I watch a Tarantino film, I think the big difference for me is that in Tarantino's films, he doesn't answer every question. And I feel like in this film, every question was answered.
I would disagree, because there are a lot of things that I have questions about that aren't answered in this film.
But I'll get there.
Okay.
So I feel like in Tarantino's films, he puts in characters, and it's like they have some sort of interesting kind of story, and then he'll just offer them, and they're kind of just there, and it's like you don't know,
that's it.
You don't know anything about them. Whereas like after I watched this film, I felt like every single thing we saw is the limits of what the writers wrote on the characters, right? So so a writer wrote down for
John Hamm.
Rose and Emily and Rose?
Emily.
Yeah.
For their two characters. I feel like the writer wrote them as like their sisters, their father was abusive, and then they got involved in a cult. And that's like where the writers left off. I feel like the writers never wrote anything more on their characters other than what we saw.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
Okay.
I don't think the writers have the answers for other questions.
Not the most fleshed out backstories, even though they were going to cut some of it short.
Well, I feel like the backstories are perfectly kind of fleshed out, but they showed everything, right? Because like when they started going through the film, they started having a flashback for each character, and I think I would have preferred it if I didn't see the flashbacks, because there's like in every single flashback there was information that was like quite a significant amount of information, and I don't feel like it added to the character. I feel like it just explained things, if that makes sense. So like for each of the flashbacks, it was like going back, seeing they have an abusive father. It's like, okay, they have an abusive father, but it was set up that was never paid off. So I was like, we like went back and we saw it, and I was like, okay, I was expecting maybe there was going to be a moment where the younger girl was going to be under a bed hiding, and the other girl was going to be out there like getting in a fight with Chris Hemsworth, and then she was going to notice, oh, I should side with my sister, she's doing a better job. And it's like, but that never happened.
Yeah.
And it's like the guy who like he turned out, he's like, I've killed 143 people. And it's like we go back and we see him.
I would have preferred to never see that.
Yeah, we see him go through the entire Vietnam War and come back, and it's like okay, that's really interesting talking about Vietnam. I don't think it has a place in this film. I think it would have just been even kind of like eerie that he's like, I've killed this many people, and then he just kills all these people in the hotel. That would have been way better payoff.
I honestly thought with that character that he was actually going to be a worse psychopath than Chris Hemsworth. I thought that's sort of all of them, right? I thought that's where it was going, whereas like he's sort of the young one and everybody sort of babies him a bit, and he's clearly got a dark past, and he keeps talking about that he's made mistakes, and you don't find out. And I thought that maybe what it was is he wasn't the original cleric of the Royale, and he got there maybe a year before anyone else, killed the cleric.
Even a day. And a day before everyone killed him.
Yeah.
And then just like started working. And was like, I work here.
He was just like a psycho murderer type.
Yeah.
I actually I didn't really care about his character until that very last point where I was like, oh wow, yeah, holy shit, like this guy's been through a lot and he's got PTSD and stuff like that.
Like I thought it was interesting, but I was just like, just showing it, it was just like, I felt like they could have taken out all of the flashbacks for this film, and I think it might be a better film, because answering questions isn't always the right choice.
That leads me to my biggest negative, is her backstory. I feel like the rest of the characters all have a really dark backstory, or really like, so when they made a movie, a terrible film called Suicide Squad, the tagline that the writers went in with was, we want it to be bad versus evil. And I really liked that, and I didn't get that in Suicide Squad. But I thought that this film would have been a really good opportunity to show me a lot of characters that have done bad things versus an evil character like Chris Hemsworth. And that's let down by the kid and the singer. And I really would have preferred for the kid to be a psycho, even if he's one that's decided to try and go straight now. But I would have preferred him to be a psycho that, as you said, killed the original cleric like a day before, and then when he gives the talk of like, welcome to the El Royale, it's just because he heard it yesterday from someone else giving it to him.
No, because I really like the kid, and the reason that I like the kid is because that he's surrounded by all of these people that have knowingly done evil, and he's asking the father to forgive him because he knows he's done bad things. He knows done bad things, and forever you're thinking about that. But then at the end, he's gone to fight for his country and stuff like that, like things that aren't considered evil. But I think maybe that's what they're trying to get at, is that everyone's kind of evil in their own eyes, if that makes sense. And I feel like if they were all out and out socially, the social norm of evil, I feel like it would have lost a bit of that.
Yeah, I don't think...
I'd say there's a film by Tarantino called The Hateful Eight. And I feel like...
It's a great movie.
The Hateful Eight, it's pretty much everyone in that kind of situation, all 8 characters are all kind of bad, even like the good ones. And I think Tarantino does a much better job at making very likable bad people.
Villains, yeah.
It's like not even villains, just bad people.
Yeah.
Just like a lot of times his stars of his films are terrible people that you really like.
Yeah.
And I just found it interesting going through this film.
Yeah.
That sort of thing.
Yeah. I wonder how much it's going to suck for this director being compared to Tarantino.
I know. Well, whoever directed this, I'm not sure. I didn't look into it. Yeah,
I don't know.
He
I
did
don't remember
Cabin
his
in the
name,
Woods.
but he did Cabin in the Woods, and he did.
I was about to say this.
Cloverfield.
I was expecting a Cabin in the Woods thing when they started going under the
Yeah.
The hotel
Yeah.
into all of the secret rooms. I think that...
So he
whoever-
directed and wrote this. His name is Drew
Yeah.
Goddard. And he produced The Martian, wrote Cabin in the Woods, produced Lost, produced Daredevil, the TV series. It doesn't say he's directed a lot.
Fair enough. Well, to be fair, whoever directed this, whoever wrote this guy, he's doing a bloody good job.
Yeah.
Like
yeah,
this, like
yeah,
is like
fantastic.
this was
Huh.
this was a good film.
This is his directorial debut.
Okay, well, he did an excellent job then.
Yeah.
This is his first time directing.
He's produced and written plenty of films. This is
Yeah.
his directorial debut.
Writer director. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, then he was just good job on this one.
Yeah, definitely.
There's just like a lot of
Definitely.
little nitpicks because I think I have a lot of nitpicks because this film is so close to being a perfect film for me.
Yeah.
It was really-
It's actually a bit like that, where it's like, oh, this film is so good, I just wanted that, like, little bit more kind of
Yeah.
thing.
If
And,
it
like,
was that little bit
it's
more...
hard. It's definitely hard to put this up against, like, a film that we would, like, Night School or something like that. Like, obviously, this film shits all over it.
This one,
but
this is definitely in the much higher
Caliber.
much higher caliber.
Yeah,
than
definitely.
Most of the other films.
This
that
film
we
was
watched.
very close to making it into the 6th spot of my current top 5 favorite films of all time.
right.
Yeah, but no, I think this film really did well, and I think the fact that we kind of all have our own differing
Yeah.
opinions on the
Yeah,
film and
is a
everything
good thing
is
as well.
a good thing, and
This film invites discussion.
it's
which is really good.
it's really good from a writer's perspective. Obviously, writer director, like, he's done extremely well. Yeah,
Yeah.
I give this the tick of approval.
I give it
Yep.
Brody's dick of approval.
The film slice
Yep.
tick of approval.
So,
All right, guys, that is the end of the podcast. Cane Dogs, do you have anything to finish off? the
Angus,
pod
I do.
on? Excellent.
I do. This film, Angus, was a real Guess Who kind of a film. A real whodunit. And as a
I
result...
feel like you're emphasizing certain.
I am.
Words.
So, Angus, in front of me, I have drawn the most artistic and detailed images of 9 individual people using what I had, which was a pink highlighter, a pen, and a granite. Now, one of these people on the image is called Tim. Tim is not finished as a drawing because I pushed down on the paper too hard.
and it ripped.
And I ripped it. So Tim is...
So Tim
Tim has been murdered, and the other 8 are the suspects. So by playing Guess Who, asking me questions about them, you will have to narrow down who did it, and I will cross people off or tell you yes or no.
I would like to just bring up that Jordan drew one of the people with my name, and they're wearing sunglasses.
Yeah,
And
that's weird.
it's just not
Jordan
a thing that I wear.
Jordan wrote my name on top of a clown.
A clown with pink hair.
Yes, all 3 of us are in it. I'll put a picture up on, you can put it up on Instagram and I'll chuck it on the Facebook. Okay, Angus, would you like to go first at giving a guess?
Is it Fran?
It's not Fran. Would you like to
just gonna go
be a
through-
little more specific? Angus hasn't given a very helpful guess. Fran was a woman with sunglasses. It's not Fran. I'm going to have to tick who did it. Cause,
I haven't played Guess Who in a long time.
Yeah, I don't think I understand the game.
so asking things like, is it a boy? Is it a girl? Do they have long hair? Do they have short hair? Do they have a beard? Are they wearing glasses?
And you tick down
and
put them down.
yeah,
Okay,
exactly.
right.
Is
And
there
you-
some sort of winning condition? Or are we just going to keep guessing until we find out who killed them and then...
Well, most police would
podcast will
consider
end?
that a win. Figure out who it is.
Yeah, but we could just go one by
Well,
one, just naming each of the characters.
Yeah, but the idea is to do it in less than 8 guesses.
Okay, well, had one.
Yeah, I know. So the idea is you have the picture in front of you. So
Mind
if I
you,
say...
every time we guess, there's a better percentage of getting it next time.
Well, that's the point. But the idea is that you don't cheat.
Okay, this one's for the audience.
Yeah. Okay.
Is it the guy with the weird rainbow hair?
Is it Jack?
Sure.
It says Jack on his name.
Yeah.
You're meant to ask more specific questions.
Well, that's the second question.
No, it's not Jack.
It's not Jack? Okay.
No.
Okay, so audience, Jack is... You guys can keep... Jack,
Angus, could
Jack
you
is
ask a
guy,
not name-based
and he's got
question?
Spiky hair.
Is
He
it
doesn't have any
the
ears.
guy in the
and,
middle
He's
right?
got like rainbow hair.
God. You need to be more specific.
Okay.
Do they have a beard?
Thank you, Brody. No, they don't have a beard.
Ah, well, I'm not going to ask that fucking question again. Jesus. Okay, well, it's one
Okay.
of 2 people, Angus. So
It
choose
is.
correctly.
I accidentally gave quite a lot of people beards.
Actually, it's one of 3.
No,
Oh no,
it's not Jack.
It's not Jack. Right. So it's
So there's 2 people left.
It's either Bob or-
there's a woman named Bob who's got very, very luscious lips.
Or-
And there's a woman named
Jermaine.
It is.
Is it Jermaine?
It is unreadable. It is a J, an A, an M, or 2 N's, then an I, then an E, then an L, then a triangle. So it's obviously Jamnellen. Is it Jamnellen?
No.
Well, I'm gonna go for Bob.
Okay.
All right, it's Bob.
It's
Bob
Bob,
did it.
okay.
That was worth
Bob-
my time.
The woman named Bob.
I'm glad you both don't know how to.
I guess we
Play
should have.
guess.
We should have guessed the woman named Bob.
Bob, yeah. Thank you for listening to Film Slice Podcast. You can reach us on
Not to.
Instagram, you can reach us on YouTube, you can reach us on Twitter, you can reach us on SoundCloud, you can reach us on iTunes, all that jazz. See you next week. Bye.
Ciao.
Ugh.